Hello readers and writers, I'm MJ, and today we're going to be doing a book haul. So I have tried book buying bans in the past and they don't really work for me. So what I try to do is limit the books that I take in to special edition books that I either really want to read or I have already read. And that doesn't always work out to be the case, but for the most part, that's what I try to think about when I'm ordering books. Um, so I do have quite a big book haul for May, and but a lot of them I've already read and are special editions, and I'm really excited to show you them. So the first one is The Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson, and this is actually it's split into two parts, and this is a special edition by Fairy Loot. I ordered the first book and liked them, but then I kind of felt like I had to order the second book to match. Thankfully, I think the quality of the second book is a little better than the first book. Mostly it's just got gold foiling. It looks really nice on your shelf, and does have like maps and stuff in it, so that's really nice. But it's not anything too spectacular, except that it'll just look really pretty on my shelf, and it matches the first book that I have. And I have to admit, the one thing I would really like them to add would have been super easy, and just like a ribbon added into it. That alone would have made that the series so much more special. Maybe it's just me. The next book is from Rainbow Crate. It is Ravensong by Kayla Faye, and this is they, for their traditionally published books, they do a special edition cover, and then they send that along on top of the traditional cover. So you get both of them. They do have a panel that shows the representation, and this book is sapphic, has ADHD rep, PTSD rep, non-binary Jewish rep, and Muslim rep. It's a Celtic mythology with a plot twist and found family. And it is 15% adults and 100% young adults. I feel like Rainbow Crate has been doing a lot more young adult books, which means I have started skipping them a lot more than I would like to, because it's the only book that's LGBTQIA centric. But being a romantic and asexual and a 40-year-old person, even within LGBTQIA books, I found myself represented a lot less than I would like. So I did decide to get this book series because this one sounded interested, but mostly I was interested in the indie book that they had this month. So the indie book is I Am Not Your Chosen One. And this is by romantic male, gray sexual male, non-binary representation, sapphic, Vietnamese, white biracial, found family, subverts tropes, which is funny because the title is literally a trope. I guess it's literally subverting a trope, so there you go. Cute angels, and is 100% adult, which I really, really appreciated. It sounds really interesting. I will say that on the description of the cover, they cut off the word, and the response to it was, oh, well, we think that sounds more mysterious, which means we don't want to pay to send out new covers to people. And that is a little disappointing, because now I have a cover that's cut off an otherwise very beautiful book. I love their indie books, and I believe the indie author of this book deserves better, let alone the subscribers. So, and here is the naked hardcover. And they do beautiful indie books that are all LGBTQIA centric, so I really want to keep continuing supporting them. And I like half of the direction of where the box is going and I'm not enjoying the other half. So I think it's great that I can get the books that I'm interested in and skip the ones that just are not for me. Another special edition book that I ordered that finally arrived this month is Trust of the Emerald Sea, and this is the first secret novel by Brandon Sanderson. I did order them in all formats, so I have already read this, and was one of the last to receive the hardcover copy, and there's just delays across publishing industry in general, so I completely understand, and I personally feel like they made the right decision because, again, I had already read this book, and even though it was very hard to wait, I'm glad that people that hadn't read the book got it before I did. But I'm also glad that I received it. This book is gorgeous. Like, this is a special edition book done right, and I appreciate Brandon Sanderson, but also everyone at his company that put this together, and the artist on this as well. It's just, the decisions they made were great because they got such a great response. They like put the money back into providing even higher quality, and that's just really special to know that an author cares that much about his own work, but about the readers reading his work, and I mad respect for that. So here's the inside covers, and my favorite part, I don't know if I have a book like this, but it's got green prints like scattered throughout the book, and so like the title pages are green, and then the font pages are, I just saw one, I'm trying to find it again. The part pages, look how gorgeous that is. There are also full color illustrations that are glossy, and I'll show this one because it's kind of the artwork for it, so it's not spoilish. There's even more in the book that I'm not showing because they are spoilish. And then in addition to that, there's also like this 3 tones kind of green grayscale artwork that is absolutely gorgeous. And this is early in the book, so I'll show that one off. But they're scattered throughout the whole book, and I don't want to show them all because the artwork really does tell a story. But there's one other thing I do want to show, that as we move into the later part of the book, the font, or the color choice, actually changes, and there's a reason for that. And I think that decision was amazing, and to just kind of see the color change with the book. So this is gorgeous. This book is absolutely amazing. I'm so excited to have this on my shelf, and so much more excited to see the second book when it comes in. So I'm so glad that I splurged and participated in this Kickstarter. So thank you, Brandon Sanderson and Dragonsteel team, because y'all are amazing. So the last special edition that I got in that I have already read is the Wayfarer series by Becky Chambers. And first of all, I feel like I just ordered this, so Illuminate Crate not only put this out, but like got it out really fast. So I am like blown away by that. When it came in, I was very surprised. So the series is absolutely stunning. First of all, I love the series. It's amazing. It's got a lot of representation in it, although it tends to be alien representation, so I know that can be kind of problematic, but at the same time, I think it's done in such a way because it is an alien world, and so I do think that Becky Chambers representing aliens not on human standards is brilliant. So I definitely will be rereading these series, although I probably will not be rereading them out of the hardcovers because I don't want to mess them up. They're stunning. Absolutely stunning, and I've had them on my shelf, and I've just been staring at them. They're all signed, and I'm not sure how I'm going to display them because we have the gorgeous title cover and the sprayed edges, and I love them all. And then the second book, A Close and Common Orbit, so each of them have their own colors on it. And I'm gonna, at the end, I'll show them all together. There's nothing super special on the inside except for the signature. I mean, everything looks fine, but there's not like any special formatting inside, but definitely the care and attention went to the outside, which, let me see if I could show, like, there's even like silver speckling on the cover. So it's beautifully well done. I'm extremely happy with them. A Record of a Spaceborne Few, which, I don't know, I think this might be my favorite. I don't know why I don't typically go to yellow and blue combination, but it just looks stunning. And then the last book in the series is The Galaxy in the Ground Within, which is a stunning purple pink combination. And here's all 4 of the books together. See how amazing that looks? Like, it's just so beautiful. So I am extremely excited that I splurged for these copies, and so happy to have them on my shelf. That being said, I love the series so much, I'm still keeping the trade back copies also, so they will both be living on my shelf. So I have one more special edition that I did order, and this is one that I have not yet read, and it is Alone in the Ether by Olivia Blake. This is actually the Fairy Loot edition. When Illumicrate came out with their edition, I passed because I hadn't read the Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake yet, and I didn't know if I was going to enjoy their writing or not. And then I did read it, and I did enjoy it, so I was like, okay, when Fairy Loot came out with this, I was like, I do want to get this new book and have it on my shelf. I do have the second book in the Atlas 6 duology on my TBR to read this month, but I have not read it yet, so I'm hoping to get through that, and then hopefully I will read this one soon, as it is the only special edition, well, I guess the Rainbow Crate one as well, that I have. I did actually purchase 2 books this month, and as if you have watched any of my other videos know that April was Autism Acceptance Month, and in my research for autism, like all the books and all the videos, there was 2 books that I knew I needed to read so that I could share them out next year. And that is The Outside by Ada Hoffman. This is one that's actually been on my radar for a while, but I keep thinking I own it because of there's another book I own that has a similar pattern on the cover, and I keep thinking it's that book, and so I don't order it. But I finally was like, no, I need to read this book, because this is like On the Edge of Gone and The Outside are like the 2 main autism representation science fiction books, and since that's kind of my thing, I wanted to make sure that I picked this up to have to read. Now, I haven't read it yet, but hopefully soon. The other book I picked up, I've actually been going back and forth on whether or not I was going to read it, and that is Hell Followed With Us. And this is a YA horror book that is very LGBTQI-centric. The main character, I believe, is autistic and trans. And I've heard various things about this book. I am a wuss when it comes to reading, so I stay far away from horror and gore and that, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to feel about it, but I also want to read it because, I mean, autism trans representation, even in horror, I feel like I kind of have to read it. It might also be kind of traumatic because the main character grows up in a cult. So we'll see what I think, but I did finally break down and decide to purchase the hardcover so that I could have it on my shelves when I hopefully love it. But we'll see how that goes. In addition, I have 3 books that I received from the publisher, so very grateful for that. The first is Lost in Paris by Betty Webb, by Poisoned Pen Press. Oh, it's a historical mystery. There we go. The next book, You Have to Be Prepared to Die Before You Can Live, and this is a non-fiction book by Caledon Books, and this is one I'm very interested in reading. So, as it's blurred on here, 10 Weeks in Birmingham That Changed America. So this book looks at Black America and safety of Black Americans in looking through George Floyd, but also connecting that back to Birmingham, Alabama. And I think it's gonna like kind of talk about like how much has changed, if anything, and definitely is going to be one that will take a look about a race in America. So I'm definitely very interested in reading this very important book. And this book comes out on May 2nd, so it will be coming out very shortly. So the next book I'm very interested to read, and it's While You Are Out, and this is a memoir on mental health. And I think it's also a look into how mental health is seen by our society. Um, you may or may not be aware, but my master's degree is in developmental psychology. Well, I'm mostly interested in autism. Part of mental health is definitely interplayed with that, but also just I know within my own family experience the impact of mental health. And so I do really enjoy reading other individuals' experience and just also getting out more conversations on mental health. Very excited to read this memoir, which is also seems to be intermixed maybe with a little bit of a historical perspective. I don't see a release date for this, but I'm assuming that it's either out or coming out soon. This is an arc, so probably coming out soon. So that is my ginormous book haul. Thankfully, most of the books I've already read, and I'm going to need to rearrange my shelves to add them in, but definitely have some books that I'm going to add to my TBR. My goal is to read as many paperback books, if not more, of what I brought in. So hopefully in April I'm able to read 8 physical books so that at least my physical TBR doesn't go up, but we will see when I do the wrap up, which should be coming out shortly. So as always, keep writing, keep reading, and until next time.